Hello, everyone, and thanks for listening. So, I saw this article several weeks ago, and I couldn't believe what I saw because I was really, really not sure if it was real to even say these words, that it even existed. I didn't even realize that there was a such thing as a child marriage, that it had even existed. A such thing. I knew there was child marriage, but it was looked at as more a negative. And this is as well, I believe, but apparently in some other places, it's legal to marry. It's under, the age of 18 in some states. And so I thought you had to be at least over the age of 18 or at least over the age of 21, at least over 18. But apparently, in some states, it's legal um, for some people to marry under the age of 18. So, anyway, this is from The Hill, and it goes on to say that Tennessee GOP kill a bill to ban child marriage. And so, actually, when I read this article, it looks as though they were using this as a platform for fighting against same-sex marriage. So, you know, it just seems like it gets worse as it goes along, but it goes on to read that the state House Republicans in Tennessee on Wednesday effectively killed a bill to ban child marriages in an effort to bolster the conservative lawyers' case against the Supreme Court decision on same sex marriage. So the bill called for the state to ban marriages where one of the parties is under the age of 18 years. So House Majority Leader Glenn Casada was convinced to send the bill to a summer study in the House of Civil Justice Subcommittee after an email from the attorney David Fowler, a former state senator. The Tennessean reported on Wednesday. So summer study is a place where the bills often die more often than they return for debate. And so effectively killing the bill's chances to be passed. So Fowler's email said that he was preparing a lawsuit to counter the U.S. Supreme Court's decision to legalize same-sex marriage in 2015 case of Obergefell versus Hodge. The Supreme Court's ruling essentially nullified the Tennessee marriage license when it opened the spectrum of legalizing marriage beyond or between male and female. And so the Tennessean reported this. So if Tennessee were to ban child marriages by modifying the state marriage law, lawmakers would be acknowledging the existence of same-sex marriage according to Fowler's legal theory. So Representative Darren Jernigan, a co-sponsor of the bill, found a state loophole in February that gave the judge the ability to grant marriages to minors with no minimum age limit. That I thought was unusual. That's my opinion right there. The Tennessean reported, so in 2016, 42 men and 166 women under the age of 18 were married in the state of Tennessee. So nonprofit group Unchained at Last says that it has found that at least 3 marriages in Tennessee involved a child as young as 10 years of age. But the state officials has disputed that claim, which I believe that they were right. They have found that. So it goes on to talk about Jernigan and the other supporters of the bill say that the loophole led to female minors of being married to significantly older men where they face higher chances of being abused. And so that was the first thing I thought. in my head is older males using that as you know, an excuse to take advantage of young, you know, innocent children, girls, and you know, who knows what else. So Fowler is the president of the Family Action Council of Tennessee, a Christian-based advocacy group against same-sex marriage. So Jernigan said that it was disgraceful that Casada was citing Fowler's theory to fight same-sex marriage as a reason to block the child marriage ban. So it sounds like there's like a two-edged sword, and there's a fight for one thing to go and combat against another. I'm not even going to comment on that, but basically what has happened is that the Family Action Council wants to continue to let 13-year-olds get married in the state at the sake of their court case against same-sex couples, which is crazy. That's my opinion. But Jernigan said this. So it's disgraceful, and I'm embarrassed for the state of Tennessee, and I can only pray that we bring this back next year and not let them get in the way. So it sounds like there's a battle going on in Tennessee over child marriages versus same-sex marriage, and you know, which one takes precedence over the other. And me personally, I just think that marrying children is just ridiculous. You know, it opens the door for pedophilia. You know, but you know, it's different when there's two consenting adults, and you know, despite what their gender is, you know, if they're adult age and they have consented to marry, whether it's a hetero or same sex, they're adults versus an adult marrying a child. So that's my opinion. But you know, somebody might say I don't like either of it. You know, and that's their opinion. They're entitled to that. You know, but this clearly, I will say this in regard to children. I don't think children should be getting married to adults. But you know, apparently in this different state here, this has gone on, and it sounds like it's gone on for longer than what, you know, people really know. It is viewed more like a normal situation is what I was seeing. And so there are several other articles with it. And this right here is just really sad right here when you see this. Tennessee GOP kills bill banning child marriage, and you see clearly that this is like really, I'm just going to show you the photo if it comes up at all. Yeah, it comes up. It's basically the same thing that I've read, but it's in a different article. And so if you see this, you see looks like this little girl could be the daughter of this man. You can't even see his face. So it says conservative Christian lawmakers in Tennessee kill bill banning child marriage. In other words, they want child marriage to persist. And I guess, let me see here. Looks like it's the same exact thing. So only this one right here, it talks about, you know, which I guess that's the same part, same state. So last week it was Kentucky. This week it's Tennessee. So Kentucky also as well. So after the opposition from conservative Christian Republicans killed a bill banning child marriage in Tennessee, a bill that would protect children from child marriage has been killed after objections from conservative Christians worried that the new law protecting children would damage their efforts in opposing gay marriage. And so that points it out a little more clearer. And so the Hill reports that the state House Republicans in Tennessee on Wednesday effectively killed a bill to ban the child marriages in effort to bolster conservative lawyer case against the Supreme Court decision on the same-sex marriage, which is this just shows you how crazy things are getting. So in essence, conservative Christians, listen, in the state are arguing that Supreme Court's ruling essentially nullified all Tennessee marriage license when it opened the spectrum of legal marriage beyond just between the man and the woman. So it's similar to the article I had read. Sometimes I like to do that to compare the wording of what they say. Some articles are clearer than others, and some are more to the concise, to the point, and others are just like they kind of, use all those other jargons that are not as clear. But this one is definitely clear. It's very similar. So according to the theory, if Tennessee were to ban child marriages by modifying the state marriage law, lawmakers would be acknowledging the existence of same-sex marriage. In other words, conservative Christians in the state are saying, to hell with the children. We need to stop gay marriages at all costs. So that's really blunt. So, and it's sad, but it's like they're using child marriage. Okay, the bill sponsored by Representative Darren Jernigan, a Democrat, who would simply prohibit marriages where one of the parties is under the age of 18, adding insult to injury. According to the reports, the nonprofit group Unchained at Last says it has found at least 3 marriages in Tennessee involving a child as young as 10 years old. So that's what I had just read. Times Free Press reports the bill was killed by House Majority Leader Glenn Casada, who acted at the request of the former state senator David Fowler. Signal Hill, an attorney, and I supposedly, it looks like there's an R symbolized, I believe, maybe Republican, possibly, who is now the head of the Family Action Council of Tennessee. So the Family Action Council of Tennessee is a powerful conservative Christian group that apparently has no problem with child marriage. Let me read that again. The Family Action Council of Tennessee is a powerful conservative Christian group that apparently has no problem with child marriage. Okay. I just had to take a step back there because we always blame homosexuality or people who are homosexual as being pedophiles. There are some people that do that. But here, it's the other way around. It really is conservative Christian groups who apparently have no problem with child marriage, but does object to same-sex marriage. Okay, so let's get that clear. For those who want to pin pedophilia on have to be gay to be a pedophile. So it's almost like saying, AIDS is a gay disease, when we clearly realize now that it is not a gay disease. AIDS, anyone, if that opportune time is right, if you're in that situation to contract it, doesn't matter who you choose to have intercourse with, you can be a straight male or a straight female, you can still contract AIDS. So it's the same thing. You don't have to be gay to have HIV. We should all know that. So you don't have to be gay to be a pedophile, according to here, what it's saying. And I always knew that. But you have people on YouTube that are preaching to Black people that, you see all those letters behind LGBTQ. Now they're adding other alphabets. Well, next thing you know what the P means, pedophilia. I heard somebody say that. I'm not even going to say the name of who said that. But excuse me, the P means polyamory. And that is somebody who I believe, now I'm not that, perfect on all of this, but I do know it means polyamory. And poly means many. And many, in my eyes, what I'm hearing from people who say many is that you can either be married or not married, but you have many or multiple partners for intercourse or for relationship. Polyamory or polygamy is similar to that. And where you can be married and you can have multiple wives, or you can have, it's usually, you know, there's a man and he has many wives, and or polyamory when you have multiple, multiple partners, or an open relationship with someone and you have many partners and you have an agreement with each other that respect each other and each other's dignity, and but you have the multiple partners. Now I'm hoping that I'm close on that, but poly, I know it means many. So that's what the P means. It doesn't mean pedophilia, like what somebody was preaching on YouTube. He says he's going to open a school for Black boys, and he's going around talking about homosexuals. And here you have it right here. A Family Action Council of Tennessee is a powerful conservative. Conservative means you're about religion, and not necessarily always about religion, but most of the time it is religion and Western culture, and basically Republican. And you don't believe in same-sex marriage, but you do believe in child marriage. You don't have a problem with that. But you're a conservative Christian group. Child marriage in an adult, that's pedophilia. That's what it is, people. So, commenting on the Republican effort to kill his bill banning child marriage, the bill's sponsor, Republican Jernigan, said basically what has happened is the Family Action Council wants to continue to let 13 years olds get married in the state at the sake of their court case against same-sex couples. So that's their whatever they're using to fight against homosexuality or homosexual marriages, is to allow 13 years olds to get married. Okay, so he goes on to say it's disgraceful, and I agree with you. I'm embarrassed for the state of Tennessee, and I can only pray that we bring this back next year and not let them get in the way. So the fact that conservative Christians would block a bill banning child marriage is not surprising. Last week, a similar bill banning child marriage in Kentucky was blocked after opposition from Conservative Family Foundation of Kentucky, a powerful lobbying group backed by conservative Christians in the state. And so you see this picture here. And so Tennessee Republicans, facing pressure from a powerful conservative Christian lobby, refuse to protect children as young as 13 from being forced into marriage. And they call it Christian love. Yeah. So you're hearing it here, people. Conservative Christian lawmakers in Tennessee killed the bill banning child marriages, so they believe that child marriages and marrying children as young as 13, as young as even 10 years old, should be legalized. So now you hear it. I thought I wasn't seeing this. I had to do a double take, and I said, oh my God, it is crazy. The world has gone crazy. But anyway, tell me your thoughts and what you think on this. I mean, I can deal with adults, but when you're an adult trying to marry off children, babies, uh, I don't know. It's just really sad. But anyway, uh, this right here comes from Pathos. The other one was from, um, it's called Progressive Secular Humanist. And then I had the other one, which was a little further up. And so they even went so far as to go to court with this. So it's the other one was in the Hill. And so I'm going to go down here because I find that this is interesting because this actually has news. Tennessee bill to ban child marriages stalled due to lawsuit challenging gay marriage. It is, it is an I'll say this, you all. It's going to be the same thing here. I'm not going to read this one because it's a war out there. I'm declaring that it's a war out there. But anyway, I'm clicking on this video to see if it plays. I want to kind of hear what they got to say because
House Bill 1785 would outlaw Tennessee marriages where someone is less than 18 years old. It's designed to stop teens and young children from marrying adults.
Frankly, it's child abuse.
Representative Darren Jernigan is sponsoring the bill. He says marriages like that are more likely to be forced and abusive.
Under 18, they cannot get contracted for a lawyer. File for a divorce, cannot get an order of protection.
In Tennessee, a 16 or 17-year-old can get a marriage license with parental consent. Anyone younger simply needs a judge to sign off.
You effectively ruin their childhood.
The Commission on Missing and Exploited Children says kids nationwide have married adults 200,000 times in the last 15 years. That includes 3 cases in Tennessee where 10-year-old girls got married to men 24 and did so because of attorney David Fowler, who, according to Jernigan, says the bill would interfere with his lawsuit against the U.S. Supreme Court. It challenges the court's 2015 decision to legalize gay marriage.
I told him, all you did today was allow a 13-year-old boy be available to marry a 30-year-old man.
After public backlash, Jernigan says the bill will likely return to committee in a couple weeks, but there's no guarantee it will pass. In short, the controversy continues.
So there,
Naja and I are not paying a bit of attention to.
So there you have it. And this is a total other article, but I just thought this whole thing was really crazy. So, I don't know. I guess if you have any thoughts on the issue, tell me your thoughts, what you think about this whole thing. I think it's really sad that our world is getting this crazy where it is allowing for children to be exploited simply because of people's egos and all of the things that they have on their agenda, and they're downloading it on children, innocent children now. So to where it is victimizing children to be exploited through, really, to me, if you ask me, I would say it's just an effort to be what you would say legalize pedophilia. And, like the guy was saying, there's certain limitations that youth cannot access certain protections if they are in an abusive relationship. I don't even know why we're even talking about this, because they shouldn't be in a relationship thinking about that, even at that age. To be thinking about marriage, should be far down the road. But, it's just sad But anyway, give me your thoughts, subscribe, give me your thoughts on what you think about this whole issue. Should the whole thing be eradicated? Um, or are you middle of the road or what? It's, it's just, I never thought it would get this bad. But I guess I was wrong. But it's just so sad. It seems like things have gotten crazier and crazier as time has gone on. And believe me, I don't agree with a lot of things that have been going on. I feel safer when it's adults. If they're adults and they're over the age of 18 and they decided that they wanted to be together, that's a different ball game altogether, because you can't really, at that point you can't, force people to do otherwise. But when they're still children, they're still minors, they have a whole life ahead of them. Young people should be thinking about, school and what they're going to pursue in their life, the fun they could have. It's like robbing them of their childhood, and they're not free. And it's like enslaving children. And so, well, with that being said, well, thanks for listening and give me your thoughts. Thank you. Bye.